It's 200.
Oh my God. Happy anniversary, Reg.
Happy anniversary.
There are some marriages that have not even lasted this long.
This long. I can't even fathom 200.
Oh,
200 podcasts.
know.
Oh, God. Well, I'm Rich G.
And I'm BJ Flagg, and this is episode 200. How to do a podcast after 200 episodes. What we have learned. Yes.
I
This show
know.
will be an hour and a half long.
Yes, this is going to be an hour and a half podcast. No, it'll be a short one, but
Short one.
I think we're exhausted. I can't believe we started back in what, 2017, was it?
Yeah. And what's wild is we literally come up with so many new topics
Yeah.
all the time. So I can't see it stopping. Unfortunately, Rich, you're just going to have to get some sleep and let's keep moving.
Yeah, I think the day that we announced that we're doing a podcast, BJ and I both quit our networking group. We
did.
We're starting a podcast and we're leaving. We're leaving. So we're excited. Instead of tips, we're going to give you our learnings. What have we learned? And we've got some really good ones here. So I'll start out with learning number one. Have a format and stick to it.
Oh, this is hard. But we've listened to so many podcasts and we realized how incredibly important this is.
Yeah, the good podcasts that last for a long time have a format. They have because people want regularity. And one area BJ religiously made me stick to is a schedule of topics and a locked in format for our show, because she does this for all of her clients with their websites and their marketing. It's natural for her to get us to do it for the podcast.
And you know what was so surprising is that we could build, test, and record everything for the podcast in about an hour.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, oh, Thursday, do you take all day? That would be an hour.
Yeah, 1 hour. We just 1 hour. And if you can't fit 1 hour to do a podcast, because these podcasts are only 12 to 15 minutes long, and it only takes us, after you get good at it, you could put them together in no time. So
exactly. And if you've been with us for a while, you notice that we kind of have an intro, a little riffing, 4 tips, a book, a resource of some sort, and then a sign off. So it's really, it's a nice format, really easy to put together.
Yeah, and BJ and I use Google Docs to keep all of our recordings and talking points handy.
Yeah, and we're constantly putting in new topics to talk about. And what makes me laugh hysterically is we'll go back to them and go, what were you talking about here? What was this all about? Who wrote this?
I know. We'll go off and like 2 months later, I'll go, I don't want to talk about this. This is weird. So
that's behind the scenes.
If you keep us to a standard format, and by the way, you could change it if you want. It makes it so easy to build your talking points every week.
It's so easy. And we have changed it over time. We fine-tuned it as we went, which was great. So learnings number 2, trust yourself to go off script. Okay, this was a hard one. Yeah. This was hard. When we began, we worked with a script that was very tight. And, it was just so hard. And we thought to ourselves, we needed to stay on that to sound professional.
Yeah, then we slowly realized that our best shows, the shows that you loved, our listeners loved, were the ones that went off script.
Yeah. And we laughed. Any that went over 12 minutes, you loved.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what is that?
We were always worried about timing. Oh, people aren't going to listen. But then you've got the big podcasts that go 3-4 hours, and we were worried about a few more minutes.
So. I know. And, call us late to the party, but we knew we had to make that change and kind of leaned into our business experience and realized we could riff. We could go off script. We could, be able to remember during our conversation something that we wanted to add, and trust the partner to go along with you.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, BJ and I are voracious readers. We're always riffing behind the scenes on what we're following. I mean, we talk. When we first get on a call, we used to do this in person, but now we record in our offices. We talk about stuff, things that are happening, podcasts we're listening to, and this is how we talk with each other. And we thought, why don't we just do a podcast?
Exactly. Exactly. And everybody keeps listening, which is just awesome.
So
I love this next one.
Learning number 3 is have a partner. Have a partner. BJ's my partner. And oh my God, this is so important.
Oh my gosh. There are going to be weeks when you just don't have time, or you are really want to procrastinate, and the partner keeps you on track every week. It's like we might touch base once a week where I'll text them something and say, "Ooh, did you see this? Ooh, what about that?" But otherwise, the partner is the person who you know is going to show up.
Yeah, it's so important because both BJ and I have thriving businesses. We're running businesses. So doing this, podcasting isn't our business. It helps our business. But having a partner makes the podcast, in my opinion, more interesting. Have two people bounce ideas and tips off of one another.
And I think the part that is so amazing is that you might, a partner can bring you up when you are having a bad week, or you don't feel like the podcast is working. They'll get it right back on track. Like if they hear you stumble a little or pause or something, they're like right in with you. So after doing 200 of these, I just know Rich is going to pick right up.
Yeah, you only have to do 50% of the talking too. That's the best part.
I know. And what I love is like, I'll say, "Oh, don't you remember that guy who did the thing?" And Rich is like right behind me going, "Oh, yeah, that's who it is." And I'm like, "Yes, this is always such a great thing." So, learning number 4, don't overcommit. We have met so many people who are like, "Yeah, I'm going to do a podcast every day." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, no, you're not. You're going to burn out." And and when we started, we were actually doing 2 or 3 shows a sitting, and the amount of prep we had to do you remember that, Rich?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was brutal.
And what we found was, writing the scripts and stuff, when we write the script and then do it, we're fresh. But if we write the script and, we go back and look at stuff, we're like, what were we saying here? It was really weird. And rehearsing and all of that, we thought we needed to have so many, we needed to take a break, so we're only doing one.
Exactly. And I think our big nervous things, it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
We thought that we were going to run into times when we would be too busy and need to grab an old episode. No, it just has not happened. And it wasn't, when you think about it, we finally found a place in our week that we both could meet, and we never have a problem with it.
Yeah. It's Thursday at 7 a.m. We're both early birds, but every Thursday at 7, we're recording a podcast. We're writing it and recording it, and we're done by 8 because BJ has clients, I have clients.
Right. So. And I love it that, we fit it in between traveling and vacations and whatever we're doing, we do it.
Yep.
So it works out great. The other crazy thing is that, what we don't want it. It's all about the guests.
Yeah.
And I know that when we get back into the studio, which we're talking about already, it's going to be another conversation about the guests.
Yeah.
And what's so hard is we get a lot of pushy publicity people. Oh, so many books. And they're just not good.
Yeah, they're not good at all.
We get winners every once in a while, but oh my gosh.
Yeah. The first thing I would do is if you start a podcast and you start getting these emails from PR people hawking other personalities with their books, The first thing I would say is tell them, send me the book. If they're committed to your podcast, because sometimes they send it out to hundreds of podcasts, send me your book. Let me take a look at it. And it's funny. I'd say 98% of them are awful books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And what's wonderful is finding the diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
And we love talking to them, but sometimes they'll show up and they don't even really know what the book's about.
Yeah.
So that's, anywho, we will have guests coming in the future. We have a couple of people in mind that are just dynamite that we're excited to be able to speak with. So that will be happening, but that was a hard part.
It's true. So we have some miscellaneous learning, some quick hits. The first one is, don't listen to your podcast. You are your worst critic.
Right.
If I listen to my podcast, I go, oh, I sound nasally. I sound this. Oh, I sound like an idiot here. My microphone's bad. Just put them out. And
right. And it is so crazy. People don't realize that the show doesn't go like in a continuous line. Mostly it does, but we do talk to our producer, Rich Scalzo, in between talking. So if I get stuck on a word or something, Scalzo, get that.
Absolutely.
And it can get a little brutal, that's for sure.
Another thing is keep it fresh and change it up. Switch things around, get new music. We're probably going to choose some new music. It seems that every year we put in a new tune, a background tune to kick it up a little bit, or change the format.
Rich is a genius with this. He is a genius with it. I love the music that you choose. It's so good. But also, don't focus on the listeners. Just keep doing it. You're going to get these random emails that says, I thought you did really good, but I thought the audio was a little off. And you don't listen to any of that. Just keep moving. You will be fine.
See, people's behavior is sometimes they're out to pick because they're jealous that you're doing it and they're not. So they're going to pick at you. How many listeners do you have? And I usually go, I have no idea. I know the last time we checked last year, we have thousands of people listening to us. Thousands. I go, I don't care. We're just doing the podcast.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And, we've had some people who just literally were dogging us.
Yeah, to get on.
And he was like, I don't understand why you don't want me on your show. And I'm thinking it might be this attitude.
Yeah, and here's the best miscellaneous learning that I found is it's 2021 and podcasts are your book. A lot of people say, well, if you want to have a good business, you should write a book, and then the book will get you publicity. No, it won't. I know of so many people that have written books and they have boxes of them in their garage right now. When I talk to clients and say, I have a weekly podcast that I do, we have over 200 episodes now, people are like, ooh, and it closes the deal. Closes the deal.
And a lot of people ask me that, Rich. Both you and I have gotten business from the podcast.
A lot of business.
Yeah. I mean, people literally will do one and they'll call up and they'll say, hey, I was just listening to that podcast on such and such. Do you think that's a subject we could do a little bit of consulting on? And of course, I have to go back and find out what we were talking about. But B, I'm like, yes, this is awesome. We both have had that reaction, which is awesome.
Yeah, people don't realize that it gives you authority. It brings you up. It gives you, I always forget the word. It gives you the confidence. It shows people that you are a knowledgeable person in your industry other than other people. And you go, look, go to my website. There are over 200 episodes there. Go check them out.
And one thing I always do is I just give people links to specific ones that I know they're struggling with. Yeah. Like, you should listen to this podcast. We went over that and it was excellent. Now, our resources today, obviously, have to be podcasts.
Yep.
We want you to start listening to them, go through your interests, Get them written down. These are some really good ones. Rich, you want to?
Yeah. First one is one that just started out about less than a year ago. I think it's called the All In Podcast with Chamath, Jason, David, and David. It's for investors, millionaire, billionaire, business, industrial types that talk all about topics, and they're just so really good. It's a fun, they get on each other's case, but I learned so much from this podcast.
The other one I love is Pivot by Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway. Love that one.
Yeah, they have good rapport.
Yeah, they have a really good rapport. I am going to mention this one, Literally, by Rob Lowe. And I know he interviews celebrities and things like that, but he always does it in such a way. He's so enthusiastic, and he always does it in such a way that they're not really talking about the business as much as just life.
Yeah.
They're awesome, and he's well prepared. He does such a great job.
The one I like to recommend is Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. This is a guy that does massive amounts of research in like World War II or Genghis Khan, and he will talk for like 2-3 hours. He does massive amounts of research, and it's just him talking about exactly what happened. And I sit there and I'm mesmerized by his podcast. He doesn't come out very often, but when he does, I'm like right there listening to him.
The one that I really love is How I Built This by Guy Raz.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've read his book. Listened to his podcast. He is so good. And it's that same type of feeling, Rich. You just get totally immersed in what he's talking about. It's so fantastic.
And then I have the Tim Ferriss Show.
Oh yeah.
I've read all of Tim Ferriss's books, and he is another one that sticks to a format. He has a basic format on how he interviews people and he talks about things, and he's really good at what he does. He's very knowledgeable.
Yeah. And Business Casual by Morning Brew. Awesome, because you need to catch up, and they have everything figured out. It's quick. It's a quick one, but it's good. I love that one. So that's about it. I want to just kind of talk about one of our sponsors today. This is another great part of what we get to do. Do you really want your business to grow right now, but you are afraid of taking that chance into the unknown without a leap? You need to set up a chat with Rich G. One free session will show you that Rich is the real deal. He's helped hundreds of companies grow and excel faster than you would expect. Go to richg.com for a free session with Rich and to help you have your business soar.
Excellent. And our other sponsor is New Renew, newrenew.com, BJ's marketing firm. There are so many, the best companies are the companies that fill a gap in their industry. See, with BJ, there are so many businesses that are like mom and pop. They work out of their basement, and it's like, yeah, I'll do your marketing. And they're like, a laid off marketer that, I'm just going to do marketing and stuff. Then you have the other end, which are the agencies, the big agencies, where, you'll go work with this big agency and pay them tens of thousands of dollars, but you're going to be given like a college kid to handle your stuff that just got out of college. BJ's newrenew.com fits right in the center. They give you the big agency feel, but the one-on-one customization. They talk to you. They work with you one-on-one. The best people work with you. It's just a great fit in between both of those bad choices. So go to newrenew.com and check out how you can grow your marketing. So thank you to our producer, editor, and king of creative, Richard Scalzo, the man who makes everything happen with our 200 plus podcasts, bringing you the best small business podcast every Tuesday. Have an unbelievable week.
And catch you later.